Hi, everyone. My name is Vivian Casenda. I am signing in from San Diego, California. I am happy and blessed to be surrounded today with my beautiful and handsome co-hosts from all over the globe. Most of them are in the US, and I have and also in Asia. That's Phil. So for this is a special event that we have once a month with the CEO Woman Tribe. That is the Friends and Family Meetup. And for this month, being the month of May, it's in honor of the women's wellness. So I have invited a few co-hosts to share with them their journey in terms of how they handle their they share their story about their women wellness and health. So in the first my few co-hosts that will be sharing their story will be Brenda, then I will have Debbie, then Iris, Mabel, Sue, Wendy, and then Phil. Phil will be covering the business side of the friends and family. So without further ado, I would like to invite first Brenda, and go ahead, Brenda, and thank you for joining in.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm actually out and about. We've got company this weekend for a week, and we are exploring San Diego. And one of the things I was thinking about before I hopped onto this call was the fact that if it were not for activation, I would not be at the Embarcadero, enjoying the sun and enjoying this amazing fresh air. So I'm so excited to be able to share my story. My background was corporate America. I was a VP of HR for almost 20 years. I absolutely loved what I did. I loved serving people. I loved helping I serviced a global employees from all around Asia, and I loved what I did. And I really want to say that oftentimes I took my health for granted because I just assumed every day that I would be able to jump out of bed and go, go, go. I was Mighty Mouse, Energizer Bunny, and I was that healthy person until I wasn't healthy. And so my passion is helping people to be proactive about their health so they don't have a story like mine. And I often tell people that I do share my story about activation because I don't want someone to have to live my journey. So I was that healthy person that got sick. And for me, I got sick in June of 2004. I developed a number of really debilitating autoimmune issues, a really super long list. And I went from being that vibrant, healthy person to at my sickest, I was in bed 20 hours a day. I was on 24 prescription medications. I was in chronic pain. I also developed really horrible, this itching disorder where literally I never stopped itching from 2004 to 2011 until I was introduced to activation. I tell people, imagine being in a bathtub full of fire ants. That's what my body felt like. I also developed really bad short-term memory. So everything that I would say after I said it, I would forget it literally within seconds. And I was always turning to my husband, asking him, what did I just say? What did I just say? So I ended up taking a medical retirement from my job because I couldn't function anymore. And that was devastating for me. I tell people that I was just existing from appointment to appointment to appointment, looking at every specialist. And I remember it was August of 2011, and I was in bed and I was praying. I was praying because I said, God, I know that there's a purpose for me. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And I also was asking for something to come into my life that would help with some level of giving me quality of life back, something that would help with maybe alleviating the pain, something that would help with just helping to alleviate some of my symptoms. And literally, you guys, 2 weeks later, we were introduced to LifeVantage. We were introduced to activation. We watched the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. When I saw the ABC Primetime, all I could think about was, what if? What if this could help me? What if reducing oxidative stress could really help me out? And I thought, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose and everything to gain by giving it a shot. And it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. But life wasn't done with me yet, because no sooner did I start having really awesome results that I was then diagnosed 4 months later with breast cancer. And I just kind of said, you know what? I said, God just has a bigger story, has a bigger testimony for me. So I went through chemo, I went through radiation therapy, I kept taking our activators, and I'm sitting in front of you guys today, 11 years out, prescription-free, pain-free. I do still have brain fog, you guys. I've got some brain issues where I do still have some memory gaps, but my quality of life, there was a time where every time my husband and I tried to plan something, we couldn't plan a day, we could not plan an outing because we would even be walking out of the door sometimes and I would hit the wall and I would have to say, babe, we've got to go. We can't go. I would say, we can't go. You know, so I'm just grateful that we said yes, because it changed my life. We're out, like I said earlier at the very beginning, we're out this afternoon. We've got company. We've been running around. We've been walking like crazy. I was hiking for 6.5 miles the other day, and that wouldn't be possible had it not been for activation. So I'm very grateful that I'm very grateful that I was a yes to taking a look at the information. And I'm so grateful that somebody was brave enough to ask my husband to take a look. So that's my story. And I'm so happy that I was able to share with you guys this afternoon. Thanks for inviting me.
Hi guys, Brenda, that was a great story. I've heard it, part of it, and I loved hearing it all. I'm Debbie Holyoke, and I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 7 children by the time I was 31, and I have 19 grandchildren now. So anyway, I was nearing my 50s, and I was just out of energy. I felt terrible. I found a weight loss program. I lost 60 pounds. I was excited about that, but my kids were saying things to me like I needed to work on my emotions, and maybe I needed to go to therapy or something to work on. I thought nothing was wrong with me. So it was very offensive when my daughters were saying to me, Mom, you need to go and have the doctor check your hormones, and you maybe need hormones. And I'm like, I don't need anything. I'm fine, especially after I lost my weight, because I felt so good. So the health part of it was there. I was really into getting healthy. So I felt good because I lost my weight. And then Vandy and Sam decided to try a network marketing, which I was like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. But they did. And I had to go and tell them no. Well, I was blown away when I saw that ABC primetime, and I was real excited about the product because health was in my mind. And after a few months of taking the activations and making my body feel better on top of the losing weight, and then that, my kids started saying things like, Mom, you seem like you feel better. Are you, lost your 60 pounds? I mean, when I found PROTANDIM, just was a few months or maybe things, but my mother had a really hard time with her hot flashes and stuff. They would wake her up in the night, and I was just getting to that point where I really didn't know what a hot flash was. And so I know that I can't say it cures or prevents or treats or mitigates, but I know that I feel better, and because I've been activated. And after I retired, my husband and I are now taking care of a 2.5-year-old grandson. He's been with us about 2 years, and I have enough energy, and I'm excited about the products, and I just need to get myself in gear and share them, because we have a gift and we need to share them with people so that they can have the same experiences with their health that we have.
Amazing, amazing. Brenda and Debbie, both of your experiences, I am like in chills, because women, we are such powerhouse people. We need each other. So my name is Iris Riley. I'm here in Charleston, South Carolina. And my story is, in 2015, I was introduced to this amazing product, this amazing company. And for me, it was perfect timing, because I come from a small town in South Carolina. I was always around a large family. I have a big family. And I was always instilled, work hard, have a strong work ethic. If you have something good, you share it with others, and you do the best to be the best version of yourself. And so for me, I use that same mindset, being married now for 19 years, also using it, going to college, getting my degree in computer technology, and also working in banking for 16 years. Well, in 2015, we were caring for my husband's mom. So I was a caregiver. I had two small kids, a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I get a phone call from my brother-in-law. He says to me, Iris, meet me at the hospital. Your husband has been in a bad accident. And so all I could think to myself is, oh, what now? We're already taking care of so much, small kids, his mom. So I rushed to the hospital. Thankfully, my husband did not have any life-threatening injuries, but it was a long healing process that he needed to go through. And during that time he was healing, we also found out we were pregnant with our third child, baby number 3. I was 37 years old, pregnant with my third child, taking care of a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, a sick husband, and a sick mother-in-law. Woo, talk about stress. So I was the woman that was dealing with anxiety. So I would take anxiety medicine. I had severe allergies. But I was also very health conscious. I was the person that would read the nutritional journals at Whole Foods, going to every vitamin shop, trying to figure out how we can stay healthy, my entire family. And so when my friend says, hey, we got something you need to see, they invited us to see a primetime news investigative report. And everybody, that if you have not seen that video, you need to see it. It changed our life. I was 7 months pregnant, and I looked at my husband and I said, I have no clue what oxidative stress is, but I know what stress is. And if this can reduce my stress, I am taking this, you're taking this, everybody we love will be taking this. And so I consulted with my OBG, and she looked at me and she says, Iris, the ingredients are all natural. It's up to you. So I made the decision to start taking the product at 7 months pregnant. My child, she's 6 years old now. She's been taking it for 6 years. She's had one ear infection her entire life. She has muscles like Mike Tyson. She is one of the healthiest of my 3 kids, much more. My other 2 have allergies and different things, but she didn't have it. So I said all that to say, I have seen the product, how it improved my health of my family. And thankfully, I also had wisdom and insight to say yes to the opportunity, because women, we are caregivers. We have so much responsibility. We look out for complete strangers, neighbors, and we have an opportunity to help them, not only physically, and we need every possible way right now because of the economy. So if you are just kind of taking a look at this information, I say yes to it and figure out the rest later. And I'm so happy that we did say yes, and I'm not turning back. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mabel Rivera. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and I'm an office administrator. Great testimonies from everybody. When I was introduced into this opportunity to change my life, I was not only hurting economically, but my health was worse. I was going through a divorce, and my income of herniated disc, 3 bulging discs. Same year, I had a rotor cuff surgery and a knee surgery on the same side of my body. It was just horrible. I was put in horrible pain medicine for about 7 years. At the time, I had a coworker, and who was she wasn't my friend at the time, but turned out to be my very, very good friend, Terry Wright. I will always be thankful to you for this. She introduced me to the power of activation. And I can say that saved my life. And I say this because as of January of this year, I no longer take any pain medicine for anything. I'm totally free of all of that. My quality of life has changed tremendously. I can do about just any physical activity. And I have a saying that I say all the time. I cannot run any 30-year-old at any time at my 56 years of age. When this all came into my, I'm sorry, but I'm nervous. This is the first time I've done this. So people constantly ask me, where do I get all my energy from? And when your body has the ability to work to its full potential, I call that magical, in its activation. There was 3 things that really attracted me to this company. And the first one is that it's publicly traded. It's transparent. To me, it's clear, as transparent as it can be. The products are patented, and there's a lot of research to validate that. And we have a great team, the CEO Warriors, and they support you in anything and everything you need, any questions. And the why I decided to do this, not because it's a great company, because I want to be able to give my grandkids more of a quality time and quantity time that I was ever able to give my kids. So thank you very much to all of you for all your great help and for pushing me to do all this. Thank you. Because this is all new to me. I have no knowledge in any of this, and I've learned a lot, and I learned along. So thank you.
Thank you, Mabel. I think everyone would agree on this call that perfection is not the goal. We are all real. And I'm listening to these fantastic stories. And my women's health story, my name is Sue Edwards, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. This past week when I was finishing up making a sale, and I was talking about some of my stories with my friend, and she said, Sue, if you had led with these stories, I would have bought your products right away. And I was like, okay. I had told her some of my other customer stories because I thought they were so much more impressive than my own, not being very impactful. I mean, these were just little women's issues that I didn't even notice were changing until, 6, 8 weeks, several months later. I didn't feel anything outrageously different at first. But one day I noticed that I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night as a hot, sweaty mess. And instead I was sleeping through until morning. Cool. My pants started falling off. And even though my weight was staying the same, something was changing. I'm 47, and my family would all agree that prior to PROTANDIM and the other products with the Ultimate Stack and Axio, that my midlife dragons were beginning to be a bit fierce before starting the products. So now it's been about a year, and my life's highs and lows are not as severe. And instead of the downward slide that everyone was telling me was going to happen with age, now I'm having a step-by-step motion toward this upward spiral that is exactly what I want my future to be. So who would have thought that I would want to exercise? But when I was so tired before. I not the old me. Okay, maybe swimming, but not these other things that I'm interested in. And today, or yesterday, actually, it was, I've been having a goal, and I got up to 7 pull-ups. Yeah. So I'm eager to greet my new future. I have this positive outlook. I have positive mindset. I have this support group of amazing people who just lift me with them. And I feel better than I have in the last 20 years. And I'm eager to look forward to the future along with the rest of you. So thanks for listening.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my gosh. These stories have me in tears today, and just incredible. My name is Sandy Flake. I am from Snowflake, Arizona. When I first saw this, I had 2 small children. I told my husband we weren't going to sign up or buy anything. But when I saw that ABC Primetime Investigative Report, I left with 2 bottles that night because I wanted my dad on it, and I wanted us to start taking up preventative. I had no idea the health benefits that I would personally see. I thought I was, I just turned 30. I wasn't that concerned at the time with my health, but cold sores I didn't have. I didn't get as sick during the winters. My winters, suddenly I was not missing a week of work because I was sick. But I had been sick every winter my entire life since I was 12. We were able to have 2 more babies, and I've been outside all day with those boys at track and field today. So I've got my hat on, but guys, I was 10 years older in that pregnancy versus my first 2. And the pregnancy was night and day better. And it was just so incredible. I slept better. I had more energy. When I did get woke up with a baby, I was able to be a better mom. I call Axio my happy mama juice because I'm able to go and get everything I need done. And it has just been incredible. You guys heard my mom's story. My dad has an incredible story. I am just so, so grateful for PROTANDIM. I'm grateful my daughter was diagnosed with autoimmune disease last year. And I am just grateful for all of the products that have helped so much with her symptoms and to be able to be, to be healthier and start that off on that healthier thing. And yeah, my children do take the products too because they are so amazing. So I absolutely love these stories, and I'm so grateful I got to share. And I got home in between everything. Pass it on.
Lillian, you're next.
I did not know that. Sorry. My name is Lillian Marita. I'm in Morriston, Florida, hot Morriston, Florida, hot and humid. 13 years ago, we heard my doctor's neurologist tell him, go apply for disability. It'll be 2 years before you could go back to work. And I was like, that can't really be true. But when he got his diagnosis of a very rare autoimmune disease, we came to the shock that that might be true. Thank goodness, like so many people here, an angel shared that ABC primetime report that we have heard about. My jaw dropped. I have a 4-year degree in biology, and my thought was, is this just half of what it says here? I want it for everyone. The person who invited me was a friend that's an equine holistic vet, and she thought I would want to take a look at it for the dogs because I'm a dog trainer, and she did not know what was going on with my husband. So I'm really grateful that we took a look. Someone said, I think I can't remember now, I think it was Iris, it is so true. Women, we become Wonder Woman. That saying, you don't know how strong a woman is until they're like tea, you put it in hot water. And I became caregiver 24/7. My husband could not do anything without my help. And the financial stress, the emotional stress, the everything stress, I so resonate with what Iris said. And you gather strength for when you don't have it, but you do start thinking like, how long can I put up with this? So I was so grateful that I jumped at this right away. I said, I want this for everyone. We all started getting activated. At that point, it was 13 years ago, only NRF2 was available. And I caregiver, teaching classes, taking care of my husband. There were days when we went to therapy and to the doctor where I would have to lift the wheelchair in and out of the car 12 times in one day. I had to lift him in and out of the wheelchair, in and out of the car. I was lifting 190 pounds 12 times a day and the wheelchair, and still keep going and going and going and going. And I really thought my biggest fear was like, what if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of him? And thank goodness we were activated, and time just went by, and his recovery, instead of taking 2 years, took 6 months. So I'm super grateful for that. But I really think these products helped us keep his sanity, my sanity, and just being able to cope with that inordinate amount of stress without, falling into depression, without just breaking apart, because it was a lot. It was a lot. And I never cried through all of this. I was trying to be the brave person. And it was years later, I think it was like 2 years later, when I watched a video of him taking his first steps. He had to learn to walk again. And I was kind of videoing his progress to be able to send to his mom, who lived in Venezuela and couldn't come to be here with us helping. So that's when I wrote down, I was like, oh, wow, like this was really bad. But when I was in the midst of it, I really, I'm so grateful that we were all activated, and it helped us get through probably the most trying times of our life. So I will forever, again, be grateful to the person who introduced this to me. And like it's been said here, don't wait, just get everyone activated. It is a blessing. It is a gift for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Woman Warriors, for sharing your stories. And My name is Vivian Cassandra, and like I can relate to Iris and Lillian because right now I'm a caregiver to my partner who is going through some medical challenges, and thank God I do not have to carry the wheelchair around because I don't think I'll be able to do that. So for the next session, for the next sector, so we're gonna invite Phil to share the sciencey and the business part of LifeVantage. Over to you, Phil.
Thanks, Vivian, and thanks everybody for sharing your really emotional stories, because I'm an autoimmune transformation specialist. I used to be a financial planner, helping people get their health back on track so they can get their insurance covered, right? But most people I work with autoimmune conditions are actually women, because like someone is saying, you're one of the warriors, right? Always looking after us men to kick us out to go make some money. That's what we do, right? That's what we're designed to do. We providers, right? You guys are the caregivers. So that multitasking thing you do a whole lot of it, right? Men are just zoned into one thing, essentially. I'm just generalizing, obviously. So working people with autoimmune conditions, most of them have gut issues. And that's where my journey was looking for the best probiotic for my clients. When I found LifeVantage an amazing probiotic, I jumped on board of that. But until I saw NRF2, we all talk about activation. That's when I actually realized how powerful this actually is. I became talky talk. They always say this about me. I talk super fast because I'm super excited, but I want to go through some very basic slides. It's very different what we spoke about this morning. Very similar, but not the same, because I want to really hone in really in terms of women's health. And a couple of slides I'm just going to go through, and I like to talk about why we are rusting from the inside out. Now, Sue, can you see those slides? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Awesome. Okay. Now, when I look at the products, we're not here to prevent or treat or cure anything or mitigate any disease. And bottom line, this is just a little bit of my opinion thrown together. And really, all I really want you to sort of see is join the dots. That's all I want you guys to see. So oxidative stress, I had no idea what it was. Many people I speak to, I've got no idea what it was. But many of them know what is antioxidants. They all know what that is. I go, great, antioxidants, goblet free radicals, which basically is oxidative stress. So think of you, you're born, you're a happy, healthy cell, and I'm going to call you an apple, put you in the can for a couple of weeks. You now start going a bit browner, start deteriorating, a little bit of free radical damage, and over time and distance, now you've got something called oxidative stress. And many people believe this is linked to many health challenges. I like to say pretty much everything, including hormone dysfunction as well. Oxidative stress, the biggest problem here, it's around us. You cannot get rid of it. It's like a shadow. It follows you wherever you go. So like many people are saying, if you've got oxidative stress, you need to be on PROTANDIM, NRF2 synergizer. You've got a shadow, you've got to be on it because that shadow follows you around wherever you go. Keep eating and drinking the most amazing food. It's still going to cause oxidative stress. If you exercise way too much, what is going to give you oxidative stress? Environmental toxins. You see the link, it's all linked there. But what it does as well, it gives a lot of hormone dysfunction. And I start seeing a huge amount of this with people. When you look at oxidative stress, I like to keep it super simple. I know Viv says I go into the science, but I go a little bit deeper, but I just want to touch the surface here. Oxidative stress, I like to look at that compared to a Pac-Man, right? So little Pac-Man runs around, chews the pellets, eventually finds a big fat pellet, chews that, and finds 4 of these free radicals, which are blue, and goes and gobbles them up. That's Pac-Man's job. Easy, right? But the problem is, got way too many of free radicals. Pac-Man's overworked, underpaid. Guess what? We age quicker. We start getting autoimmune challenges. We get exhausted. We get tired. We always start getting run down. We want to slow this process down. I dived into PubMed because I like to know the science, because the stories are amazing and I want to know why. I'm always asking why. So I dived down and looked at PubMed. Now, for those of you who don't know PubMed that well, it's basically a website about 33 medical peer-reviewed scientific studies on there. There's a huge amount. So to get anything onto PubMed is a big deal. So they say there's a big link between all these health challenges and oxidative stress. Now, I work with a lot of people with autoimmune challenges, but man, joint issues, lung issues, thyroid issues. I mean, you can start listing them on and on and on. So I went onto PubMed, typed in oxidative stress, and I found 260,000 studies. That's actually now subsequently about 280,000. So I myself had 2 autoimmune conditions, and one is basically gone and still dealing with one more. So I typed in my health challenge, and the studies got less. So I started joining these dots. But then what I also did, a lot of my clients got other health challenges. Let's say for fibroids, for example. It's a female condition, right? 55 studies. Not a lot, still a lot, if you think about it. Because remember, only 5 to 10% of peer-reviewed studies actually get published on PubMed. Then I went to look down further and looked at oxidative stress and thyroid. I found 1,500 studies. Now, your thyroid is basically your master hormone regulator. Your thyroid's out of whack, you're going to struggle to lose weight. You're tired, you're exhausted. It's all linked. The whole thing's all linked together. Then I went and typed in oxidative stress and hormones and found 22,000 studies. Huge. A lot of the stress happens because we're doing too much and we start rusting from the inside out. Now, if your hormones are out of whack, I can tell you now, everything is going to be out of whack. Your regulation system is out of whack altogether. So when I started joining these dots, I wanted to know what NRF2 actually was. Now, they say you can have all the most amazing foods and what have you. It's definitely going to help deal with oxidative stress, but it's not enough. Like my dad would say to me, it's like trying to have a tea party in a rock concert. You ain't going to win, right? But you're going to get there somehow, right? So then I looked at NRF2 and I wanted to find the easiest way to explain it. Go back to Pac-Man. Essentially, NRF2 upregulates and switches on Pac-Man and activates him. It's that word that we always keep on you: activate, activate, activate. It's like you're walking in the room, the light's off, and you switch it on, you're activating the light switch, and the light comes on. That is essentially what PROTANDIM actually does. And now, when you get activated, you can gobble up the free radicals and try to find their balance as best as possible. I dived down to PubMed, looked at NRF2, and found 20,000 studies. Interesting. So I typed in NRF2 and My Health Challenge. I found a link. NRF2 and thyroid, all of them. Start linking it together. Now, I'm not making claims here, but I want you to join the dots. That's really what I want to do. So if your health challenge is linked to oxidative stress and NRF2 can reduce oxidative stress, we're winning, right? And I encourage you, please go onto PubMed and check out the site. If you really want to go down the science, if you want to reach out and have a chat to me, please connect with me. More than happy to share some more information. Then there's a study on PubMed. These guys say this is one of the biggest preventive breakthroughs in history of medicine. This is when I discovered PROTANDIM. The very first line they say there, it lowers oxidative stress by 40%, an average of 40% in 30 days. I can't say lowers the symptoms of your condition by 40% in 30 days, but the FDA allows us to say this. This is powerful stuff, this super, super powerful. Then it also increases superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione. Those essentially are not in PROTANDIM, but what's PROTANDIM doing is getting your body to switch those guys on. Because as you age, glutathione declines. And if you research glutathione a little bit more, glutathione is actually called the guardian of all your tissues. That's on PubMed, you can find that. And think of that movie, The Guardians of the Galaxy. They're protecting the galaxy. Think of glutathione. That's what glutathione is doing. It's guardian of all your tissues. Now, those are only 3 of the antioxidants that you're talking about. But subsequently, I found out that PROTANDIM actually upregulates and turns on about 400 to 500 of the body's survival genes. When you're talking about 3 of them here. It's like grandma's pianos in the attic for the last 30 years. It's out of tune. You basically give that piano some PROTANDIM, retunes it. That's essentially how you can really sum it up quite easily. The ingredients are great. They're natural. And what I like about them there, it actually combined together. They're better. They work 18 times more effectively. Way, way easier. We can go so far into PROTANDIM, but I just want to touch on a couple more things. Is that when you look at food, they say that you've got to have all that broccoli, oranges, and blueberries. That really is not going to happen. It's impossible. We can't do that. But the problem is, you want to still keep having great food, right? Don't live on fast foods. Try to get the best quality food. But it works on a one-to-one basis. 1 antioxidant, 1 free radical. That's what it does. But what I love about PROTANDIM is it works to 1 to 1 million per second in every single cell. Now you can see the red line that goes up there. That means as you age without PROTANDIM, you are now basically getting oxidative stress. It took bloods of people from age 20 to 80, put them on PROTANDIM for basically 30 days, and they could not differentiate the blood work between a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old. That doesn't mean that after 30 days, you look like a 20-year-old, okay? Let's be realistic. We're talking about inside, right? So, and again, it's when I looked at the company as well, and I think it was Mabel, she mentioned here that they're publicly traded. But let's say, how did this whole thing actually start? Now, Dr. Joe McCord, he's a well-known scientist on the same levels as Alexander Graham Bell and the Wright brothers, and he's won a whole lot of these awards. He was basically studying superoxide dismutase, which is only one of the 400 to 500 survival genes that PROTANDIM actually now switches on. So he found these, they took about 40 different herbs and were playing around with them and found that these 5 worked effective. There we go, it switched on NRF2, and this is how PROTANDIM actually now woke up. This is how it was discovered. So there was a journalist from ABC Primetime, which is the ABC video. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's really, really cool. And what I love about that video, it's so old. If you look at the computers, right at the back of them, they're huge, these massive TVs. It's an old video, and we still use it today. And in 2005, basically, they had gone to Dr. Joe McCord's office, his lab, and said, heard all of this amazing stuff what PROTANDIM's doing, and they test his blood, his oxidative stress level is elevated. They said, take this yellow pill, go home for 30 days and come back and we'll test you again. But he came back in 2 weeks and they found out that his oxidative stress levels had declined. This was aired on telly, and basically they all go, great, one hit wonder, they all bought it quickly and sales went up and sales went down. Essentially, they put it into a GNC food store, and because why we're here, because we're trying to explain it, because it can be a complex product to understand. So then somebody thought, well, we're not making money, not making sales in a GNC health food store, let's put it in network marketing. What I love about this is that I'm not concerned about the delivery of the product. I'm more concerned about what the product does. So when I saw this and dived down in NRF2, I was blown away because I went into PubMed and I found not 20 peer-reviewed studies, I found 28. All these studies here are not paid for by the company. They're all independently funded by other people. So when I saw this to me is not tinkered or basically where they've gone on PubMed and actually manipulated anything. Remember when I said before, to get anything published on the PubMed is a huge deal. As far as I know, all the studies that they've submitted to PubMed have been accepted. It's a huge deal because only about 5 to 10% of these papers actually get submitted to PubMed. I went into PROTANDIM, typed in PROTANDIM onto PubMed, and I found 28 studies. Now, I typed in PROTANDIM and many health challenges and did not find any of them, but I knew that PROTANDIM is NRF2, and NRF2 reduces oxidative stress, which is linked to many health challenges. That's why we join the dots. So jump onto PubMed. It's really cool when you look into it. And then I think it was Mabel also mentioned about the patents. And what I love about this, these patents is where I dive down. There are 7 USA patents. There's actually about 13 international patents as well, all up. And I went to look at the first 6 patents, and it all says here it lowers or alleviates inflammation and oxidative stress in the mammal. Now, Lillian, who's on the call, she is a dog trainer, and Vivian as well. She's involved in a lot of animals. Well, those are mammals. Feed these guys PROTANDIM because dogs don't lie, right? They see results automatically. So cool. But now these are the 6 patents, right? And you can go look at them there. All this, the ingredients are listed, a whole lot there. But I found this other one, which actually got my attention even more. Now, when I work with people, I look at their blood work all the time. I look at something called C-reactive protein. What that is, it's basically one of the 5 inflammation markers that I look at in people's blood work. And they are saying to me that this PROTANDIM NRF2 can reduce CRP. It's a patent. Now, remember, you can't patent herbs, right? But they patent the formula and the method. This is a big, big deal. So anybody who has, let's say, tissue damage, you will always see that your CRP levels actually increase. So super powerful when I actually dive into it. But now I want to just touch on how does PROTANDIM actually work in a mammal cell. There's your cell, and there we go. There's a nucleus. Let's say that's the lady of the house. You are the boss of the house, right? We need to feed you food and oxygen to give you energy. That's it. But now what happens when you do this naturally, this is pure science. Essentially what happens, now you get something called some free radical damage. It doesn't matter what food you have. This now is actually going to cause a little bit of inflammation, and that basically sits on the outside of the cell walls. This is science. Now, this is the beauty of NRF2. What happens, NRF2 is a natural little key in a lock in the body. It's a natural protein. Now, think of it as like, let's say, one of those annoying children. When your kids are hungry, what do? They pull on your skirt, bang on the fridge, what have you. They want to get fed, right? So NRF2 now tells the nucleus, hey, we've got some inflammation in the house. Please, can you now make some antioxidants? This is a natural process in the body. But what happens now, because all the free radical and oxidative stress stuff that's happening in the environment, we now got way too many free radicals. You see now, the scales are tipped. We're way out of balance. What I love about this now, PROTANDIM NRF2 comes along and goes to NRF2, the protein in the body, and tells that protein, can you go bang on the nucleus's door, ring the doorbell, and tell her to please make some more antioxidants. This is how we always be talking about activation. So NRF2 activates, PROTANDIM NRF2 synergizer activates NRF2 to get the body to make its own antioxidants. Many clients I work with, and so many of them are taking huge amount of other supplements. And I say to them, well, you know what? I call it the supplement switch. You look at PROTANDIM can actually do so much more than just what all these other supplements are doing. And they're great, right? Not saying they're wrong. You can actually switch it out. So effectively, you can actually be using PROTANDIM NRF2. It's effectively not actually costing you much more. Now, what I love about the company, we've only just touched on PROTANDIM NRF2. They have got a whole list of other products. And also I heard there's a new one coming. So I'm all wanting to know what it is. Kim is keeping it from us, but she has to. But check this out. There we've got NRF2. We haven't even spoken about the one that deals with mitochondria. We haven't spoken about one that gets your body into autophagy. We haven't spoken about the one that actually helps your body clean up critical toxins. We're only touching it. There's a cream as well. There's an anti-aging cream and hand creams and what have you. I mean, we keep talking about PROTANDIM on the inside, how to basically combat free radical damage. Well, why not talk about it on the outside? If you are using any shampoos currently, when they run out, well, guess what? Why not just switch out again, call it the supplement switch, get onto the hand creams or the face creams, the anti-aging creams, or the shampoo. Now, there's lots of products here. We can dive into it. But what I love about it, it's all science-backed with NRF2 activation. So get your body clean on the inside and the outside. And also as well, you want to get activated. Pretty simple. If you have got a shadow, you have got oxidative stress. That is pure fact. If you don't have a shadow, you must be the visible man. Well, don't take PROTANDIM, but I'll tell you now, you've got a shadow. You don't PROTANDIM. Everybody, I believe, needs to be on this. And what I love about the products is that every single person I speak to, 7 out of 10 of them jump on them literally straight off the webinar. It's a common thing I'm always seeing because they understand it. It makes sense. But what I want to also just quickly mention is that if you're going to take PROTANDIM just for 1 month, please don't take it at all, because your red cells replicate every 120 days. So you want to make sure you're at least a minimum on it for 4 months. And then those red cells photocopy themselves, right? So when that photocopy happens, you're going to have a better photocopy. And again, another 4 months, a better photocopy. So you'll find the longer that you're on it, you'll find that everything starts changing. So if you're looking for a one-hit wonder, you're in the wrong house. But I tell you now, look at longevity and consistency, because that there is where you're going to win the race. So thank you guys for letting me share that. And like I say, welcome to LifeVantage, because this is a really awesome place to be. It's a great community here. And I always like to say, I'm known as Talky Talk, and I do it all the time. And essentially what happens when you start seeing results like Robin and Dave and Bev and Aline and everybody here on the call, you now want to share it with people, because I feel it's our job and our duty and our mission to show people what this does. Many health professionals out there don't know what this is about. I've been on summits, so many of them, and I've actually heard them talk about NRF2, but there's no solution. We've got something that's so simple and anybody can take it, just like Vandy's giving it to the kids. If you breathe, if you've got a shadow and you can walk and you can talk, trust me, get somebody on PROTANDIM NRF2. Like Kim also said Kim mentioned in the call, this is a lifesaver for her. And I see this all the time. Guys, I'll talk all day. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm going to hand it back to you, Viv.
Thank you, Phil, for sharing the other side of the friends and family. So that's a wrap. For those who are here on an invite, please get back to the person that invited you for this call to get started and get yourself activated, and you'll see all the results that was being shared earlier on. So again, get back to the person that invited you and get activated. So, and you'll be younger next year. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording.